Silver and Black Productions has landed in San Francisco, California, home of Super Bowl 60. We are just days away from the kickoff between the Seattle Seahawks and the New England Patriots, but you know we had to bring a little silver and black here to San Francisco, to the Bay Area. Welcome in, everybody, to Raiders Media Row Live. Amber Theoharis, along with my Bay Area legend and Raiders legend now, Baron Davis. How you doing, my friend?
What's up, Amber? What's happening?
I'm so glad to be here with you. I tell you, you're pretty popular walking around Media Row. What do you think about your first Super Bowl here?
This is really exciting. I mean, I've never seen anything like this. I was here yesterday. You got all the famous reporters. You have, athletes coming in, podcasters. I mean, it's almost like a media family reunion, I would expect.
It is. You see people from all walks of life and all the celebrities coming through, all the different players. Some are in the Super Bowl, actually, did come through. Many are not. Many are former players like yourself. We're seeing some Raiders walking around as well. I know Ashton Genty was just over at the SiriusXM set a minute ago. A future star with the Raiders, you could say. His first year was successful, but we're going to see even more. But so much happening with the Raiders in this offseason. We're awaiting who the next head coach will be. We're awaiting the first pick in the NFL draft. The Raiders have the second amount of cap space of any team in the NFL. How excited are you about all of this?
Oh, I'm super excited. Just being a Raider fan, the young core, right? You look at last year's draft, the year before that, we got some great talent, great pieces. And a lot of times with young athletes, when you get to that next level, you just have to get comfortable. And I think you look at Brock, he's going into his third. Ashton, came off of, I would say, a learning year, right? That was like a big learning year for him, and he showed improve. So going forward, I think the energy, of this young core just gets me really excited. And then just being able to know that there's going to be progress. These guys work their butts off night in, night out, day in, day out, even in the off season. So we're going to see a huge leap and a huge improvement from last year to this season. And as a fan, I'm just so excited and optimistic.
I think one of the good things we can take out of Super Bowl 60 is seeing a team like the New England Patriots, who won 4 games last year, and how quickly you can turn things around in the NFL. There's so much parity in the NFL. You can turn it around when you have the right head coach and the right quarterback. And we're seeing that with Mike Vrabel and with Drake May. And the Raiders are awaiting their head coach, an announcement expected next week, probably. And then also the first pick in the draft. You got to take Fernando Mendoza, right? Is that what you think?
For me, yes. I mean,
me too.
I'm with the whole Raider Nation. You look at this kid in college, his intelligence, I would say his sports athletic ability, because it's instinct, it's impulse, and it's creativity. And so when you have a mobile quarterback like that and somebody with that intelligence, Heisman Trophy winner, the number 1 pick seems, pretty much suited for him. But I'd be happy with whatever the Raiders do, being a fan. But Mendoza is definitely prime time.
There's no doubt it's not a deep quarterback draft class, and it's a tough position to be in when you're a team that needs a quarterback to be in maybe that second, third, fourth pick. But when you are in the number 1 pick and there is one clear top quarterback in their draft, as our colleagues Eric Allen and James Jones said, don't get cute. Don't get cute. You need a quarterback. A lot of people believe in Fernando Mendoza. And you know this. I know you have homes in LA, the Bay Area, Las Vegas. Raider Nation, I think, loved that he spoke Spanish at the Heisman Trophy. Except Los Raiders is going crazy right now, right?
Crazy.
Especially Southern California, a ton of fan base down there. I think he would just be such a great fit for the Raiders. But when you talk to that young man, or you have a chance to listen to him speak, it's clear that he gets it. He's mature beyond his years. The way he spoke about his mother that is suffering from MS, it just makes you feel like this could be, in the little bit we know, somebody that could lead a team for a long time, and that is not a small decision to make, because you got to hit on that top draft pick.
Yeah, you have to hit on that 1 pick. But when you look at somebody, I would say he's thinking on a higher level, right? He has a higher purpose for his excellency. as an athlete, when you look at the way he talks, about his mom, the work that he does in the community for the kids, but just his ultimate excitement after every game, talking to the media, you can tell that he enjoys it. He loves it. I think the diversity, right, in his background for a Raider Nation is, it just blends into everything that we're about in the silver and black.
No doubt about it. By the way, the Raiders, $90.9 million projected cap space.
That's a lot of money.
It's not just the quarterback. I mean, there's a lot of needs. Wide receivers, offensive line would be a great place to spend some money. So the Raiders are in a great position. Whoever the head coach is that comes in under John Spytek is going to have a lot of support behind him to really build this storied franchise. And I want to play a little game with you. I'm going to show.
Okay.
This is for our viewers. Right there, you can't read it, but what it is, it's build your all-time Raiders offense. Oh, there we go. See, look, our producers are fantastic here at Silver and Black Productions. So you got a $10 budget, okay? And you got to pick a quarterback, a running back, a wide receiver, and a tight end. Only $10. Do you want to go and try to see what you would do? You got to do some. I was told there would be no math, but we're going to do it.
Oh, this is
I'm
tough.
looking at it to see what I would do.
Yeah, this is tough.
It's expensive for that front. Those $4 players, man.
Those $4 guys are,
You got, I know where I can get a lot of value. I'm going to start off.
Okay,
Can I
go
do
ahead.
that? I think Rich Gannon's a phenomenal. I mean, why not go with the MVP
Yeah, that's
at $2?
That's incredible.
I'm going to go tell Rich is right behind us at SiriusXM. I'm going to tell him they only put you down for $2, Rich. I'm
Great
taking
value.
Rich
That's a great value
Gannon.
buy.
I think I got to spend my money on my running back.
Okay.
I think I'm going Marcus Allen, right?
Okay.
Going Marcus Allen, the pride
great, yes.
of San Diego, California.
True.
And wide receiver, I would love to go Tim Brown. I don't have enough money, but I think
Yes, you
look
have
at
$4
look what
left.
they did to our guy James Jones. They put James Jones on for $1. I'm calling.
But he's in a great
JJ.
class.
I'm gonna call JJ right now. Say JJ, you, Derek Carr, Ashton Genty, and Darren Waller
Darren
worth
Waller.
$1. Okay, so I'm gonna spend my money on my running back and Marcus Allen, and then I'm gonna go wide receiver Cliff Branch. So where am I? $2, 4, 6, 7, 8. Okay, I got two more dollars. Then I'm just gonna go Brock Bowers. Okay, that's my $10. So I got Rich Gannon, Marcus Allen, Cliff Branch, Brock Bowers. Do you want to give it a stab?
Yeah.
I'll do the math.
Let me go. I'll go in reverse order.
Okay.
I'm going to start with Brock Bowers.
Okay.
Because, I love the guy. He's my guy.
Yeah, he's a heck of a tight end.
He's a mismatch. Then I'm going to run over to James Jones, big
Look at
receiver,
you getting JJ.
part of the nation. And then Bo Jackson, of course.
And then you got to go Ken Stabler. You got $4 left,
And
right?
then I got the, I got the great one.
Wait, did I do the right addition? Yep. You got $4. So Ken Stabler.
There it is.
You got Bo Jackson. No, wait. Yeah. Bo Jackson,
That's
James
7.
Jones.
1, 2. That's 10.
Is it 10? I think it's 11. I don't know. Can somebody
No,
else
it's
do the math?
2
Think
plus
you're cheating.
1 plus 3 plus 4.
I was a journalism major. Don't know anything about basic addition. Baron Davis, we're going to be here the next couple of days. We're going to be with you guys throughout the afternoon. Tune in to Raiders.com or Raiders official YouTube page. You can check out all the action from here in San Francisco, California. Game going to be played, what is it, about 30 miles away? You're a Bay Area guy.
Yeah,
Santa Clara,
Santa Clara's
just
nice.
over the way.
Yeah.
Got to check that out. San Jose has been involved in this as well, where opening night was. So we're going to take you all around the Bay Area. But more to come here on Raiders Live from Media Row. But coming up next, it's JT the Brick, who caught up with Akbar Gbajabiamila.
Akbar Gbajabiamila, who's a great friend. He goes back a long way with the Raider Nation as a former player and now a great member of the media with multiple platforms. Good to see you.
Thank you very much. Glad to be here again. Super Bowl, here we go.
Yeah, this is a big one for the Raiders with the sources saying that a new coach is on the horizon. And when you got the news earlier in the week, what'd you think about that and the potential fit if this happens as expected?
Well, I think there's the excitement that comes around, any new coach that comes into a program, for, the legacy of the Las Vegas Raiders. I think it's one of those ones that we've been so hopeful. The truth is, we go through this honeymoon stage, and we've been through a lot of them. And I'm just speaking to, Raider Nation in the heart of it. And I think more than the honeymoon stage is really by by finding the right pieces, because there's so many nice pieces that we do have with the athletes, and being able to find the right people to be able to put together a system that works. And we've seen, if this does happen with, with Kubiak, we've seen what he can do, but what can you do with the Raiders? And so for me, I'm going to sit back, and I'm a little bit more reserved because I want to see all the different pieces. If this does happen, based on sources, I want to see what happens with the Raiders.
I wanted to ask your opinion on culture and where you stand with that, because Gruden was a culture guy. AP, Antonio Pierce, as you know, was a culture guy, and so was Pete Carroll. And it didn't work for all three. What can a new coach who's potentially maybe more subdued do behind the scenes to build this up again?
Well, I think youth is going to be on the side, because I do think there's a different language. I know, being a father of 4 and being able to speak the language to the different generational guys, and it's maybe finding how to change the culture by relationship and relating to the younger players. And, Pete Carroll, I was super excited about and thought that was going to be something different. I think it could have matured a little longer, but, we all make decisions. But Clint Kubiak has the ability, perhaps because he's worked with different talent, younger guys, he's a younger guy. Maybe there's something there that changes the ship for the Raiders, because we want it. We want it badly. We really do.
Akbar, you got to know Max really well over the last couple of years, being in the building as much as you have. He's ended the last couple of seasons with some surgeries, but he's an animal. First guy in, last one to leave. Max has got some big decisions coming up. He's under contract with the Raiders, and he wants to be a Raider for life. What do you think's the next step for him, because he's nominated for the Walter Payton Man of the Year again? Well,
I think the next step for him is really just being able to continue to find the different pieces within the draft, within free agency, and to support him, because that's a generational talent. We use that term a lot for quarterbacks, but Max Crosby is a generational talent for so many reasons. Not because of his athleticism, but also too because of his IQ, his football acumen, and his heart. Nobody has the type of intensity and heart. You don't see that many. You see guys who are talented and just get to the quarterback and that's it. He has all of it. He really is the complete package and the total package. And so I would love to see the next evolution is let's not let a talented player like Max Crosby get wasted, and not have him be rewarded for being able to get into the playoffs and be able to get to the Super Bowl and get the Raiders back on track.
As we wrap this up, the Raiders have the #1 pick overall.
Yes!
I think it's a pretty safe pick from my opinion, but you never know. John Spytek is going to get calls here. What's your opinion on the potential of Fernando Mendoza and what he could do as a culture warrior and what you saw in the postseason in college football?
Yeah, it was that last drive, diving in that said everything I need. I saw the tape. I've seen everything he's done. But then to know that he had that type of heart, he has Raiders written all over him. That's the type of grittiness, that's the type of mentality that you need to have to be able to be a quarterback for a franchise like the Las Vegas Raiders. But I really believe that we can't mess that one up with Mendoza. We absolutely have to draft Mendoza. We need a franchise quarterback. It's something that we've been missing for a very long time. And I think we get that franchise quarterback in Mendoza. I mean, here we go, baby.
You better
Here we
believe
go.
it. Continued success, my friend.
All right, cool. Thank you so much.
Back here at Media Row in San Francisco, California, the Moscone Center, hanging out with Baron Davis and Kirk Morrison. Kirk, you're the hardest working man in show business. I see you on every set, walking around everywhere at Media Row. How you doing?
I'm doing good. You see my hat, though.
I do. Well,
I'm letting them know. I'm letting them know, baby.
We know where you stand.
It may be Patriots and Seahawks, but it's still Raiders on mine.
All day.
It's been great, just going around. We're the belle of the ball. Everybody talking about Patriots and Seahawks. That's Sunday. This week has been dominated by the Raiders.
Yep.
Yeah.
Because the future's right.
Because the future's bright.
Number one overall pick. $90 million in cap space.
Everybody want to talk to you this week.
Yeah.
Hey, what y'all gonna do? What y'all gonna do?
Because it's a great position to be in, and you know what? It's what made. With 10 different coaching positions open, it was one of the premier coaching positions simply because a coach could really come in here. They have some key pieces like Ashton Genty, Brock Bowers, but is able to kind of shape this team, especially this offense. And, there's a lot of buzz about Clint Kubiak, who, of course, is coaching in the Super Bowl as the Seahawks offensive coordinator. But a lot of buzz about him. I know that you know him pretty well. If that were to be announced, what would you like about Clint Kubiak, and what would he bring to the Raiders?
I mean, from everyone I've talked to that's worked with Clint over the last, 4 to 5 seasons, he's been a guy they always say is a He's a silent killer. I mean, multiple people have told
we'll
me this,
take
meaning
that.
he's a guy that just he's all ball, like no nonsense. He is all ball. And they say that the only time that he truly gets upset is more at himself because he didn't call the right play. Like, he's one of those guys that works hard, that's going to demand everybody be at their best. He's, first guy in, last guy out type of coach. And it's an opportunity that I think Raider Nation possibly just needs. We need to get explosive offensively.
Mm-hmm.
I was telling my guys the other day, I'm tired of 8, 9, 10 play drive. We need some one-play drives, some two-play drives. You know what I mean? Like, we don't need 10 plays if you can get it done in 1 or 2. So I've been excited about what the possibilities could be in a situation. I think people don't realize the Raiders have the #1 overall pick, but more importantly, the NFL announced that the salary cap is going to be about $300 million per team. So you're talking about a team now that also has cap flexibility when it comes to free agency in March, and a #1 overall pick. So to me, I think it's a slam dunk opportunity for a coach to come in and change this thing pretty quickly.
Baron, if you had to start, if you're John Spytek, we all know you got to start with the quarterback, right? Of course, like you got to get a quarterback.
Put my man hat on.
Put the hat on.
Yeah.
Number
and my
two.
Kirk Morrison hat.
Number 2, what would be the position that you address on the Raiders right after quarterback?
I say you got to take the best player.
Okay,
You got to take the most dynamic player. Because
Okay.
what I'm seeing in the league right now is athleticism, right, and playmakers.
Yeah.
We need playmakers. So who's the best playmaker available at any position? I think that's where I'm looking at. I want somebody that is explosive.
Yeah.
Right? If there was a specific kind of position to draft for, I would probably say you always go with, for me, I would always say defensive line.
Yeah.
And then I would go back to the safety and get my safety and my linebacker work.
Okay,
So,
you're talking Kirk Morrison's language right now.
Oh, yeah.
I need one.
It's a couple out there.
Yeah.
It's a couple out there.
I would do offensive line. I think that's where it starts and begins because, look, you can't put a rookie quarterback behind an offensive line where he's getting his head knocked off and he's getting sacked 40 times. That can't happen. And also, I think it's crucial to Ashton Genty's development. We spoke last night, Kirk and I did the Pro Bowl together. We did the live broadcast. And we were saying, Ashton doesn't even have the chance to get to the second level. We don't even know if he has that. We were watching James Cook's kind of juking somebody, in the speed, Bijan Robinson, and we were saying we don't even really know if Ashton Genty can do that because we haven't seen him at the second level to have to get around that final defender to break free, and that's what an offensive line will do for him.
Yeah, I think the offensive line definitely is going to be a point of emphasis. I think also, too, like BD is saying, like, there has to be someone who can be explosive offensively. You need a game changer. I think one of the biggest things from 2025 that we really saw from this Raiders offense was that when Brock Bowers got injured in week 1 versus New England, he wasn't 100% for maybe about 2 months.
Right.
Remember, almost until the bye, after the bye. Remember, he had to sit out a game. And we lacked the explosiveness offensively when Brock Bowers went away. There was nobody who could kind of pick up where he left off. We had a couple of young rookies that we thought could kind of fill that role, but obviously they weren't ready for that opportunity yet. You got to go in and go get an explosive guy. And I'm seeing some guys that in free agency as that list starts to come around that I think the Raiders can target, but guys who are game changers.
Do you have any on the top of your head?
Well, I mean,
we're starting to look.
We're starting to look, but I also can look at maybe one in the Super Bowl, too.
Yeah.
True.
I'm looking at Rashid Shaheed,
Yeah.
who's an explosive player who checks 3 boxes for a football team. Punt returner, kick returner, and then also, too, can be a dynamic wide receiver. He is a free agent, so it's not tampering. He will be a free agent, so it's not tampering just yet. But, look, I had to make sure I let people know. But those are the type of players I'm looking at that do more than just one thing. They're just like, oh, he said, no. I want to see guys who can play multiple positions and can check off a lot of those boxes.
I have a question. My question is, as a player going through the ups and downs and coaching changes, right? The impact of coaching, the impact of, just thinking about the offensive line and guys being put out of position, like walking into training camp and you're a linebacker and then being moved position. Talk about that as a player and how coaching can help with that.
I think the case study. I'm a case study guy. Okay, like show me other places where a guy can be in that situation and be successful. And I think right now you see that with the New England Patriots. Okay, they're a team that had 30-plus guys are on their team this year. New guys, new players, free agents, off-season acquisitions.
That's insane,
That
by
is
the way.
insane, by the way.
That's a lot of roster turnover.
But that's also a lot of trust.
Yes.
There's a lot of trust that I'm going to come to this ball club and you're going to put me in the best situation for me to be successful as a player. Now, am I a little upset that a couple of former Raiders are over there? Yes,
man.
right? Robert Spillane and Calvin Chase.
Yeah.
Matt Collins.
Yeah, but Matt Collins, right? Yeah. I understand why, though. When you get into free agency, you're just trying to find a spot in a place that you feel like you're going to grow within a organization. You're going to grow within a scheme, offensively or defensively. And so that's the mindset when you go into training camp. I'm going to trust that you're going to do what you are supposed to do as a coach to develop me and put me in a spot to make plays week in and week out. That's where that trust comes in.
Yeah.
And you look at, somebody like Clint Kubiak, who did, obviously his offense is in the Super Bowl. It's a powerful offense, high flying with Jackson Smith and Jigba. But he's not known as a head coach. And so I think for somebody like Mike Vrabel, that was a little easier because you could look and see what he did at Tennessee.
Correct.
He turned that, he should have never been fired. I mean, I think everybody agrees he should have never been let go in Tennessee. And
I know. I'm seeing Derrick Henry walk by over here right now. I'm like, Mike Vrabel in Tennessee, Derrick Henry.
Yeah,
come on. But Mike Vrabel turned that team around. And also his team and the Tennessee teams, they embodied his grit.
Yes.
Right? They kind of took on his persona.
Correct.
So there was a blueprint and an example. Well, with Coach Kubiak, we haven't seen that because you don't know. So you have to have faith, right? And I think that's where somebody like Tom Brady being in minority ownership comes in, because if I'm an offensive player and I'm a free agent, I'm going to say, wait a minute, well, Tom Brady hired this guy, right? So that's kind of the seal of approval for an explosive offensive free agent to say if Tom thinks he can run an offense, and I saw what he did in Seattle. I don't know what he is as a head coach, but I believe.
I think another case study for that was a guy who I think was a finalist last year for the Raiders head coaching job, in Ben Johnson, right? Who gets the job in Chicago, and immediately you saw what it did for Caleb Williams. You saw what it did for their offense. And remember, this is a guy with no head coaching experience, only had been a coordinator with the Detroit Lions. So it's very similar with somebody like a Clint Kubiak, like guys who are coordinators that have never been a head coach, that you go in with what you feel, what got you there, calling plays. And if you start making those players believe, then they're going to fall into everything that you preach. And I think also, too, Mike McDonald's a great case study for that as well.
Yeah.
He had no head coaching experience. He'd only been a coordinator at the college level and then the NFL level. And then all of a sudden, hey, he's going to be a head coach with the Seattle Seahawks. 2 years, they're in the Super Bowl.
I said this earlier in another segment. I said one thing, you can look at this Super Bowl and say there's parity in the NFL. A team like the Raiders have hope because in a year, I mean, look at in 1 year, you can go from the bottom of your division to the Super Bowl. And I think that's why things are so exciting for the Raiders. All right, we're going to play our little game.
Okay.
You seen this game yet?
No, I haven't
All
seen
right,
it.
let's put it up on the screen.
Real
All
GM.
right, go ahead. I'm listening.
You got to build your all-time Raiders offense, all right? You have You have a $10 budget. I'll give you
I got a
the
$10 budget, okay.
And so you got to pick a quarterback, running back, tight end, wide receiver for $10. Who are you going with?
All right. So for me, quarterback, I'm going with Richie Gannon. Okay. League MVP, but he's the quarterback that I watched in my high school, junior, middle school year. So I'm going to go with Rich with my $2. Running back, I got to go Marcus Allen. So I'm at 6 now, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so 2 and 4. So I only got a couple dollars left. Oh.
Yeah. $4 left.
But I'm good. I'm good with Cliff Branch and Brock Bowers.
Okay.
Okay. Wait, did you just pick the same team as me?
Yeah, you picked the same.
You picked the exact same team.
Exact same team.
Come on now.
That's
Look, I got
$2
Rich
is
Gannon.
value.
$2
I got Red 88. Red 88. And then
right.
Marcus Allen, who can reverse field.
I think we need to keep
I
track
throw
of
in
this.
Brock.
I
Can't
think we
sleep
need to
on
keep
see
track
Freddie
of
Biletnikoff is right there as well. Timmy B. See, it's different because now Tim Brown would give me special teams work too.
Yeah.
See,
Okay.
so if I had extra money, though, see, that's the
cerebral.
No, there's no extra money.
We didn't ask you to build the whole team. We asked you to build.
We're not
just
supposed to
saying.
build 5 teams.
You get 2
We
for
said
1
build
with
one
Tim,
team.
Tim Brown. I get 2 for 1. He was one of the best punt
Then it's
returners of his time.
$6.
Come
It's a
on.
game. I mean, it's a Super
I get
Bowl.
the post to the ghost to the post
He's
with
trying
Dave
to get
Casper.
a long snapper for
Hey, this hard.
25 cents. Give me that.
Hey, man, that's
give me
Raider
the
history
game
right
back.
there. I take all them dudes.
All right, well, Kirk, it's so fun hanging out with you.
Always.
Remember, you can always catch Kirk Morrison live on all the Raiders games,
indeed.
calling for Raider Nation Radio along with Jason Horowitz. It's so fun to watch you guys, or listen to you guys, I should say, call the games. It's good to hang out with you, my friend.
Raiders.
All right, so much more to come as we continue to hang out here. We are Raiders Live from Media Row. Stick with us.
My name is Kevin. I'm from Los Angeles, California. I came to Las Vegas so I could be at all the events. I could go to anything Raiders related. You're gonna see me at every game. I moved my whole life here. We would get on the planes and they would shout us out, the Raider Nation's on the plane, and the whole plane just goes crazy, Raiders. So that's a great memory, just the camaraderie that we have within the Raider Nation. I'm 100% Raiders fan. There's nothing else. I'm gonna always continue to be a Raider fan. You know, God, family, and then the Raiders. And everything else is kind of works itself out.
It's game day, the day we've been waiting for. And this is more than just a game, it's a passion, a lifestyle. Here at the Raider Image, you're part of our team. Whether you're in the stands or cheering from home, we've got your back. Feel the confidence, own the game.
We
are the Raider Image. Your game, your gear, exclusively at the Raider Image.
I think you have to, whenever you have the number 1 pick, you've got to take the special person. And everybody looks at the quarterback, and that's great. If there's a quarterback, that's outstanding. I think back to my time in Pittsburgh, and Chuck Noll got there in 1969, and his first pick was a guy by the name of Joe Green. And at that time, and I still have the newspapers, it was Joe who, and why did we pick this guy, and why didn't we pick this quarterback, and why didn't we pick this big, well-known guy? You've got to pick that foundational piece, and that to me is what the Raiders have to do. What are we going to build on? Maybe it's a quarterback. If it is, that's great, but whoever it is, it's got to be that guy who sets the table and says, this is what we're all about for the next 10 years.
I love it, man. Matter of fact, when I walked in the locker room, I thought I was going to start crying.
It's fantastic. It's a beautiful stadium.
All right, JT here, and this is going to be tough, building my all-time Raider offense, and I can't spend more than $10 here, which makes this almost impossible. Right out of the gate, I can't pass on Stabler, but I need to save my budget. So I'm going to go with Rich Gannon, who I watched and covered his entire career. Obviously, Plunkett and Snake would have been my choice, and I think Rich understands this, but I'm going to go $2 with Rich Gannon. With running backs, I would never move on from anyone other than the great Marcus Allen. I'm going to spend my limit on Marcus at 4. That takes me to 6. At wide receiver, the most important Raider of my life. I get a chance to talk to him every day. I have him on the radio today. Fred Biletnikoff, Mr. Clutch, the greatest hands in Raider history. So that leaves me with $1 left if I'm doing the math correctly. And I'm going to have to go to Darren Waller, even though I love the Ghost. Todd Christensen, one of the most underrated performers in Raider history. and we all love Brock Bowers. So again, I'm going to go Gannon, Marcus, Freddie over Tim Brown. Sorry, I got to go to the Super Bowl 11 MVP. And then Darren Waller, who had a really nice short run with the silver and black. If I could go back and there was no budget, I'd end up going a little bit different. But that's my Raiders' all-time offense coming in on time and on budget.
Welcome back to Raiders Live from Media Row, and we're joined now by NFL Media's Kimmi Chex. And Kimmi, it's good to see you.
It's good to see you guys. Thank you for having me.
Well, Kimmi had the best assignment of you were commentating the dodgeball game in the Pro Bowl, correct?
Yes, yes.
What stood out to you? I mean, it's a very serious sport these days.
I mean, things are really serious. It's a very serious football game. In all seriousness, the thing that I kind of loved the most was that the guys were having fun. Yeah. And it is like kind of weird to see quarterbacks not throwing to their own guys. You know, there was a moment where Joe was playing and the ball did not go to, Jamar Chase. And you're like, wait, this is so peculiar, but it's kind of fun in that sense to see guys get involved and kind of let their guard down a little bit. I think the Pro Bowl at the end of the day is a celebration of these incredible guys, these incredible athletes, but a moment for them to let their guard get down, for us to put flag kind of on the map ahead of the Olympic Games. And before that was a women's showcase of flag football, which was really fun, kind of seeing the youth component. So all in all, a very fun, non-serious Pro Bowl, which I actually liked.
Yeah.
Well, but the Super Bowl, right, for you, how is that? Like, you see the players letting their guard down. You work so hard during the year, right, every day reporting news. What is it like now being here?
I think this is so fun. Super Bowl is like my favorite time of the year, right? Which, of course, that's kind of the obvious answer. But I think for us, and especially this season, I don't think anyone would have pointed to either of these organizations being the two teams that we would talk about at the end of the season and culminating the postseason. So I think it just kind of shows that we always like to say, and Commissioner Goodell always likes to say, there is a sense of parity in the NFL. And any year, it could be, any given team. Obviously, the Raiders being in the AFC West for so long, we've seen the dominance of Kansas City in these big moments. I'm a Kansas City girl, so all love there. I will say it's very fun to see different.
You can't be giving Kansas City love.
I mean, you have to rep where you're from. I love you, Raiders.
Okay,
it's all the same division. It's all love. But I will say, and you guys would probably agree, it's really fun to see some new faces, some new organizations, and this current era of the NFL kind of get their shine and get this national moment ahead of the Super Bowl.
When you look at the future of the Raiders, a lot of buzz about Clint Kubiak possibly being the next coach. What do you think makes the Raiders coaching position enticing right now?
I mean, look at the young talent that you guys have on your roster. When you have arguably one of the best tight ends we've seen, young tight ends, I think for so many years, right, we've had the Travis Kelce's and the Gronks of the world. Brock Bowers is already getting there, right? And he's so young and early on in his career. And then Ashton Genty, and then obviously on the defensive side to have a superstar like Max Crosby. Now, again, those are the big, sexy names, but isn't that part of the appeal that you have young guys who are hungry and in a developmental part of their young NFL careers? And to come in as a head coach and start a dominant run is really enticing. And again, people may say, well, look at the record over the last few years. Look at the record last year for the Patriots. Yeah. And now they're in the big game. I think it's finding and identifying that leader who's going to set the tone from the top down and instill that kind of drive across the building that can make any organization great. Look at you guys' ownership, looking at the involvement of Tom Brady. Like, all the pieces are there, and you just need someone to help orchestrate it. And when that right fit comes in, I think the Raiders are something very serious. And as someone who's a fan of other teams in the AFC West,
you're speaking
other teams should be a little bit nervous for the puzzle pieces that you guys are putting together.
Oh, I like that. I think that's a good take.
No. Can we say we can slowly start moving you over from a sympathizer
I mean,
to like a part of the
listen.
She's a Raiders ally.
Listen, I am an ally. I'm an ally across the board.
Yeah.
But it helps that you guys are a very swaggy, cool team with a fan base all across the board. Yeah. You have the appeal and the sexiness of Las Vegas.
Like you guys
and I think it's a show.
You guys don't have Ice Cube.
No.
Like know, Too Short.
A DJ like crazy. Like we don't have a club environment in our games, hyping it up, leaning into the Vegas of it all. So I will happily come, flirt with the Raiders.
Yeah, we recruited one. All right, Kimmi Chex, have so much fun at the Super Bowl.
Thank you guys for having me. Happy Super Bowl week, guys.
The Raiders have the #1 overall pick. Number one, would you take Fernando Mendoza? I'm sure you watched the Indiana National Championship, and what do you like about him?
Man, Fernando Mendoza is probably, the obvious pick here. But what should bring any Raiders fan, to have the belief in that is that he possesses everything that you want to see in your quarterback.
Yeah.
Calm, cool, collective, and also has great leadership abilities that the Raiders need.
Yeah.
And the patience of being a former number one pick also to the fans is it's going to require an amount of grace.
Yeah. Give him a minute.
Just let him let the net bones season, collard green season. You know what I'm saying? And then
give him a minute, right?
For sure.
But if you were coming, let's go back to as Baron said, when you were coming into the league. If I said you're going to come to this team and you have Ashton Genty as a running back that was just selected the year before you, and the year before that you have a Brock Bowers that was selected at tight end, would you feel good about that situation that you have some weapons to start out with?
Absolutely. Now, as you get your quarterback, you have good pillars that you can kind of stand on. I think what the Raiders have to continue to do is when you bring that quarterback into your facility, you got to back him with a great defense. You got to back him with a great offensive line. And then the unsung hero is a great special teams.
Yeah.
And
you can't say that enough.
So
cannot say
with
that.
the individuals that's
Field
there,
position.
It's so important, for the psyche of a young quarterback that he doesn't necessarily lose confidence, because that's the greatest asset for any athlete.
Donovan McNabb just tried to crash our set. Did you? Donovan McNabb's running back screaming. What did it do for you to have guys like Donovan McNabb that came in the league before you? When you did come in, did you reach out to any of the older players? And do you think a young quarterback should do that?
You know what? He probably forgot this, but I reached out to Donovan, and he was a person that gave me some insight that I still hold true to this day. He was like, being in the position of leadership, your presence is needed. And I was like, well, I mean, it's in my contract to show up, so I'm here. It's like, no. How you show up matters. If a meeting starts at 8 o'clock and you're showing up at 7:55 and people know you're showing up at 7:55, that's a bad representation. It's like, bro, you're a leader. Make sure that you're getting treatment even when you don't need treatment, because everybody knows that if you get injured, they know you're going to get treatment. Right. Hey, show up, at an hour where you're not the one that's smacking in the meeting rooms or, now there's a time and a place for certain things, but as a professional, that's what you will learn no matter what the sport is, no matter what the commodity is. There's football players, then there's professional football players, the same as there's basketball players, there's professional basketball players that take their job extremely serious, and showing up early, having, invested time into the facility is something that every quarterback or every leader should possess.
I tell you, that's great advice. And if the Raiders do select Fernando Mendoza, then we're going to play that clip to him when he arrives at the Raiders facility. Cam, I know you're super busy, man. Thanks for stopping by. And as somebody that covered you as not only a player, but has seen what you've done in the media, you really are an example of the professionalism and being yourself. Yeah. That's hard for players to do. So we appreciate you being here with us.
Appreciate you guys.
Coming up next, a man who has led his team to the Super Bowl. It is quarterback Donovan McNabb with myself and Baron Davis. You don't want to miss it. It's Raiders Live from Media Row.
love my brothers, man.
For a lifetime, so thank you guys.
You got the #1 pick in the draft, and I think whatever you decide to do with that, right? Is it Mendoza? And you know, I think the hardest thing is college football season wraps up and everybody's like, this is the first pick, and then months go by. Does that stay the same? Do you want to trade it? Do you trade it and go get a franchise quarterback? Maybe like all these different things. I think the possibilities is what makes the Raiders' job so attractive, and you know I think that's the key. And I know everyone assumes it's Clint Kubiak at this point, but we'll see how it is. But you know, having a #1 pick, maybe an offensive-minded head coach, gives you some belief that hey, maybe this thing gets turned around and we win some football games.
What's up, Raider Nation? Paul Gutierrez joining you here from Radio Row, and it's my turn to play the game of building my all-time Raiders offense. I've seen a lot of people come through here today. There's really only one answer, and I'm going to give it to you right now. I'm going to start at the most important position in all of team sports, quarterback, and I'm going to go with the guy that should be in the Pro Football Hall of Fame. His time is coming, I believe. It'll be a little while still, but Jim Plunkett, two-time Super Bowl champ, Super Bowl 15 MVP, a comeback player of the year, a rookie of the year. I'm going with Jim Plunkett for my quarterback, so at $3 right there. Running back, I'm going to go with the guy whose jersey was the first I ever bought as a kid, number 32, Marcus Allen, because he was just such a dual threat. He could not only run, he could receive, he could also throw the ball a little bit too if he needed to. All right, so that's my running back, $4, $5, $6, $7. All right, receiver, my guy, Cliff Branch, the late, great Cliff Branch. Love talking to Cliff. Love that he's in the Hall of Fame. I got a Hall of Fame receiver here. So now I got three guys that played together on the Super Bowl 18 championship team, one of the most dominant teams in NFL history. And plus, Cliff and Jim, they had that connection going back to Super Bowl 15. So those are my positions right there. That gets me up to what? $3, $7, $8, $9. I got $1 left. Darren Waller, obviously, because that's where you got to go at this point anyway. I got $1 spent. Darren Waller's my guy. As much as I love Brock Bowers and seeing him, Darren Waller has a little bit longer body of work. The guy was an absolute unicorn. He was a receiver in a tight end's body, and yet was big enough to be a blocker when he needed to be. So that's going to be my all-time Raiders offense based on this card. Jim Plunkett at quarterback, Marcus Allen at running back, Cliff Branch, the speedy receiver, and Darren Waller, who would just be a red zone absolute matchup nightmare for other teams.
Welcome back to Raiders Live from Media Row here in San Francisco. And look who it is. Along with Baron Davis, we have Donovan McNabb.
Yes.
Good to see you.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. How are you?
Man, we could talk about, we're all old friends. We could talk about so many things. But Donovan, you know what it's like to play in a Super Bowl. Back in 05, you played in the Super Bowl. You have a history with Baron Davis.
Yes.
You were a basketball player at Syracuse, and when you were in college, they used to compare both of you, I heard?
Yeah.
Big body.
Yeah,
Big body guards.
We had bounce. We had bounce, and we had size.
Oh, that's what they called bounce.
Yes,
they used that for big body was bounce.
Bounce.
Yeah,
we had
dunk.
Okay.
Dunk over dudes.
Yeah,
you know,
we'll shoot from the
get in
outside.
paint,
Yeah, we get
make
physical.
plays,
we get physical.
You make me want to go. I was a point guard too. We should go back and play.
Listen,
we
don't have bounce anymore.
Bring the highlights out.
Yeah,
you know what?
We don't have bounce anymore.
Yeah,
We're big bodies.
None of us do. That's why it'd be hilarious.
Absolutely.
Well, Donovan, you know a lot about offenses,
Yeah.
and there's no doubt the Raiders offense needs some help, but #1 overall pick, Fernando Mendoza is the best quarterback in the draft. Would you use the #1 pick, though, on him?
To be honest with you, as I look at the Raiders and their makeup right now, I know that he's the ongoing #1 pick, mainly because he was the best player in college football, won the national championship. Everything that he was able to accomplish at Indiana was remarkable. But when I look at the makeup of the Raiders, I think they should go and trade down to get more picks. Because when I look at this team, they need offensive line help. They need a pass rusher. They need a playmaking secondary member if it's a corner or a second or a safety. They need a number one receiver.
No doubt.
And when you look at this offense, obviously it starts with your tight ends, but if you're not able to create separation on the outside and be a threat, your tight ends begin to get double teamed by nickels, linebackers, safeties. And so I think when I look at this particular team, I think it should start beyond the quarterback position right now because the quarterback draft is really, it's low. It's limited. I mean, let's be honest. I mean, you got quarterbacks that struggled in college, turned the ball over too much, didn't win, wasn't consistent, and then now the number one pick happens to be the guy who won the national championship, and you have to look at it and ask yourself, what does his NFL career look like? From a guy who started at Cal, then moved over to Indiana and finally started having success, this is something that you have to look at. Is he a 10-year guy where he may be a face of your franchise? Or is he a lightning in the bottle, maybe 2-3 years, and then now we're trying to go back into the draft to find another quarterback?
What to you makes a dynamic quarterback?
Well, when I say dynamic quarterback, it has to have the ability to add lift when things aren't there and being able to utilize his legs. He's shown that. He's shown he can get outside the pocket and pick up yards. It doesn't look stellar, but hey, if you can pick up 5 or 6 yards, now you put yourself in second and short situation. And then also your arm talent. You know, being able to make all throws, if it's the comeback at 18 to 20, or is it the bang 8, the post at 12 to 15, is it hitting the deep ball at 42 to 45 yards? Those are the things that you have to look at because when it comes to the NFL, you know, if he has a step on a DB, he's open.
Yeah.
It's not college where a guy has 3 steps on a guy and then all of a sudden you're trying to get the ball out to him. So one thing I will say about him is he's accurate. He's definitely accurate. In the intermediate and the quick game, but can he do that in the NFL ranks where now you're throwing deeper down the field?
That's why the Raider scouts have to do so much evaluation. John Spytek, Tom Brady's involved. That's not a bad person to have evaluating.
It's so funny to say Tom Brady's involved. Like, Tom is everywhere. It's like
doing
Tom
everything.
interviewing with coaches, he doing games. Now all of a sudden he making decisions and
Swiss Army
I'm
knife.
like, what's happening? When did this all change? Like, when did I didn't get a call. No.
When you're the GOAT and you've won a couple Super Bowls, I think some doors,
I mean, Bill
doors
Belichick
open
was
up.
the GOAT too, and then he didn't get in the Hall of Fame.
That's a whole other conversation. But you know what? The Raiders need a head coach. They're the last team to not announce their head coach.
Right.
And there's a lot of buzz about it possibly being Clint Kubiak, who is, of course, the coordinator for the Seahawks. When you watch the Seahawks offense, and you know that the Raiders have somebody like Ashton Genty, like Brock Bowers, that are going to be here for a long time, how do you think what Clint does with the Seahawks would fit with the Raiders?
Well, I think the transition and the translation, I think, from what we're seeing in Seattle to what it possibly could be with the Raiders, again, they got to go out and go get a guy like, JSN. I think for the Seattle offense, Sam Darnold walked into a situation where, number one, they run the football. Number two, the play action game feeds off the running game. And then they had a number one receiver, which led them to letting DK Metcalf go, letting Lockett go. And so now they felt like this young receiver can be able to fill the void of what they've been having. Now, don't get me wrong, he had an awesome year with DK and those guys. And so that gave them the confidence. But when you look at what the Raiders now are looking at, if he happens to get the head coaching job, which he will, they have to go get a receiver like that. And so what does that look like? If they trade the picks, now you trade the picks and all of a sudden you end up with three picks in the first round, possibly. You might be able to go get Tate from Ohio State, which same school that JSN went to. You can go and get an offensive lineman.
Right? Ohio State.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Hey, you better look into it or make some trades. I mean, if that's the case, we stay with Ohio State. I don't know what the Cardinals are going to do. They might want to trade Marvin Harrison Jr.
That's not a bad
and let's see
idea.
here. You got Marvin Harrison Jr. at 6'3", 6'4", and then you got your 2 tight ends and Ashton Genty. You got something to work with.
You know what, Donovan, it's an unpopular opinion to say don't take the quarterback this year, but I'll tell you, as far as a GM brain, you're thinking along the right track when you have so many openings.
But you have to, because you have to look at it in the division that they're in. You're competing with the Chargers. You're competing with obviously Kansas City. And Kansas City has what I'm talking about. And they're going out into this draft, and they're going to go get a receiver.
Yeah.
Rashee Rice, is he reliable? I don't know. You know, he's been in and out, and he's had some hiccups here and there, but he was their big receiver. Travis Kelce was their tight end. Their running game was by committee. So for the Raiders, one, you got to stop somebody on defense. Two, you got to be able to score some points. And I know Geno had a bad year. Everybody want to talk about Geno and the turnovers. But if you get a quarterback that doesn't turn the football over and you're in each and every game and your defense gets some stops, you got a chance.
Yep. I think Barron has a game.
All right, man, I got a game for you.
All right, let's
Since
do it.
You got your GM brain on.
Yeah.
We're
Tom, holler at me.
allow you to build your all-time Raider offense.
Got you.
You have $10. You have 4 categories.
Just $10. Especially
$10.
where NIL is right now. You know.
$10.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
You didn't have NIL.
Well, you know, well, let me start number one with, I'm going to take the snake. Let me get Ken Stabler.
Okay.
That's $4.
That's $4.
Woo, buddy. All right, I'm going to go with Bo Jackson.
Come on.
Healthy.
Let's go.
That's $7. Okay. Let me get Cliff Branch.
Ooh, okay.
Because I'm going to go deep.
Yep.
And then that leaves me with, where we at?
Darren Waller. You got $1.
Darren Waller.
You got $1.
Darren Waller.
But see, with Darren Waller, I like that. Now, don't get me wrong. Todd Christensen and Dave Casper were awesome. They were awesome. But I can get something out of in today's game.
Yeah. Waller, yeah,
with Waller.
for sure.
In today's game with Waller.
All right.
Now, if I had a lot more money.
No.
No,
you don't have
that's
any
every
more money.
GM.
Everybody wants to
GM.
No, but I
money.
like where I am because, you know, with Bo, you got somebody that can catch the ball out of the backfield.
Yeah.
You know, Bo can play.
You can take a little off the receiver.
Yeah,
You can take a
absolutely.
little
Now,
off the
Mark,
receiver.
people say Marcus was that, but Marcus $4, so I can't do that. I just don't have the money. I'm sorry.
Oh, Donovan, we
Sorry, Charlie Murphy,
we
sorry.
really appreciate you coming on. It's so great to pick your brain, talk a little football
Thank
with you again. Thanks
Thank
so
you.
much.
Awesome to be on the show.
Man, what a day it has been on Media Row with Baron Davis. I'll tell you, you're kind of a hit around here. We walk around, a lot of NFL people knowing the NBA.
No, they know you. You're the celebrity. Amber is numero uno here. Everybody comes, they kiss the ring, and then that's how they're like, oh, Baron Davis is with you.
Yeah, this is my guy, Baron Davis, with me. But we had Donovan McNabb, we had Cam Newton.
Yeah.
So much fun. Cam's a real dude. I like Cam. I think he's misunderstood.
He's very authentic and true to himself.
No
That's
doubt.
what we love.
We had our guy Kirk Morrison from Raider Nation Radio.
Great.
And I think that we did convert a Chiefs fan to a Raiders fan in Kimmi Chex.
I thought so too.
From NFL Media.
Yeah, I thought that y'all saw it.
Our work is done.
We're
Our
done.
work is done here. Silver and Black Productions is going to be here on Media Row all week. We're going to bring you the latest interviews and celebrities. But for now, thanks to all of our guests, and we'll see you guys tomorrow on Raiders Live from Media Row.